Welcome to R. Ammy the Butthole, where OP seems to have the world's worst Tradwife situation. Original dilemma. I, 35 man, asked if I was the butthole for telling my wife, 40F, that if she wants to be a Tradwife, then she has to commit fully, always look perfect, wait on me, and provide intimacy whenever I ask. We've been together for 15 years. Over the last 2, she's fallen deep into this Tradwife obsession, and it's driving me insane. At first, she only said she didn't want to work anymore. Then she escalated, saying men who make their wives work are abusive. Here's the reality. We both have great jobs. I run a successful building business making about $100,000 a year. She works in NHS management, earning around $50,000. We worked hard, had no kids, and even paid off our mortgage 3 years ago. Life was good in our modest home, and I was content. But then she insisted on a huge house we didn't need, priced at $700,000. We sold ours, took on a $500,000 mortgage, and bought it. Next came the demand for an expensive new car, worth more than her annual salary. I gave in again. After all that, she suddenly announced she didn't want to work at all. I suggested a lower-paying, less stressful job, but she flat-out refused. She wanted zero employment while keeping all her luxuries. For the last couple of years, it's been clear she's deliberately trying to get fired while I shoulder everything. Then the Tradwife talk started. But here's the kicker. She also wanted to hire a cleaner because the house is too big, and she prefers my cooking, so I'd still be the one making meals. I told her, so basically you want to dress up and bake the occasional cake? She stormed off, claiming I didn't understand. When she brought it up again, I laid it out bluntly. If she wants the Tradwife role she watches on YouTube, then fine. But she must get up before me, prepare breakfast daily, stay dolled up like a 1950s housewife, keep the house spotless, pack my lunches, serve home-cooked dinners with dessert, run me a bath, give me foot rubs, and provide intimacy on demand. That's the deal she keeps romanticizing. She called me abusive, stormed out, and ran to her equally delusional sister. Update 1. On Saturday morning, I told her the Tradwife fantasy is never happening. Either she accepts that and we go to counseling or we split. She chose to split. When I asked if she truly wanted to be a Tradwife or just wanted me gone, like how she tried to force her job to fire her instead of quitting, she admitted she did and bragged there are dating sites for that lifestyle. I told her those are more sugar daddy setups and honestly she's too old for that. She exploded, screamed that I'm a bad husband, and claimed a real man would support her. I snapped back. You don't cook, you don't clean, and you don't even want sex. What part of Tradwife are you offering? You're not a Tradwife, you're a trophy wife wannabe. She left again. I've since contacted a divorce lawyer and booked a solo trip to Portugal. Update 2, 2 months later. Most of the legal stuff is boring asset division. The interesting part. She's still living with her sister, hasn't found anyone interested in a 40-year-old Tradwife who won't cook, clean, or be intimate. She's tried asking me back twice, once drunk, once more genuine, but I said no. Too late. Divorce is already in motion. Meanwhile, I've just been working, minding my business and waiting this out. Honestly, I think she's in for a rude awakening. Divorce isn't exactly celebrated in Tradwife culture, especially for someone who doesn't actually do the work. Judgment. OP, you're not the butthole. 0 out of 5 buttholes for you. Your ex gets 2.5 side story submission. Different OP. Another case. A 38-year-old woman married to a 34-year-old man for 6 years, together for 9. They share 1-year-old son. Plus, she cares for 4 other kids while working 40 hours a week. 10 months postpartum, her husband called her fat and lazy. On her birthday, he demanded she stay home or face divorce. She took her daughter to UCLA for a dental appointment anyway, and he punished her with silent treatment. He moved into his gaming room and has been there for 2 months. Without even telling her, he told everyone he wanted a divorce, spoke to an attorney, and announced she wasn't the prize. He bragged he's the prize, mid-30s, decent income, and supposedly desirable. He even invited his ex-baby mama into their home while his wife was gone. Then he lost his job. Suddenly, he's polite, affectionate, and asking her to stay, but she sees through it. He doesn't want her. He just doesn't want to be alone and broke. She's still moving out and finalizing separation. Now he's smearing her, calling her a gold digger who bailed when he lost his job. Verdict: she's not the butthole. He's just a podcast-fueled alpha male who can't keep a job or satisfy his wife. Final case: a 15-year-old girl moved from her 26-year-old guardian's house back to her dad's. The guardian returned her belongings in trash bags, but kept her school-issued Chromebook, which she desperately needed for school starting the next day. When they refused to return it, she called the police. Back when I was still living with her, Sam sent me a file, an editor's copy of her book, on my Chromebook. Now, she and her partner are refusing to return the device unless that file is deleted. 5 days ago, I went over to pick it up, but the Chromebook was dead. Sam told me she'd charge it, delete the file, and return it by the next day. But today I still hadn't heard anything, and I didn't get the Chromebook back. When we stopped by to move my younger sister's things, I asked for it. Sam's partner, who's 23, responded in a very hostile tone, saying I wouldn't have it in time for the first day of school because they were setting a boundary. I didn't feel safe arguing with her partner, so I called the non-emergency police line to handle it calmly and legally, especially since I had already warned them I needed the Chromebook by tomorrow, and they ignored me. Sam wasn't even there at the time. After I called, she tried pressuring me over the phone to hand her partner the password and ID. I refused, telling her I'd delete the file in front of them, wait for the police, or wait for her to come home. But I wasn't giving her partner full control of my laptop. When the officer arrived, he was calm and professional. Sam eventually showed up, deleted the document in front of both of us, and I left with my Chromebook without further issue. I didn't even care about the book itself, and I never gave them a reason to think I did. Afterward, they tried to spin the story, saying I was wrong for not calling Sam directly. Now they're posting vague things online about karma and consequences, trying to make me look like the villain. But the reality is, I just didn't want a hostile 23-year-old partner controlling a device that wasn't theirs. So, am I the bad guy for involving the police to make sure I got my school Chromebook back? Personally, I don't think so. First off, they were holding property that didn't belong to them. Second, it was reckless for Sam to put something as sensitive as a copyrighted manuscript onto a 15-year-old school laptop in the first place. And third, their hostage tactic made no sense. Everything on a Chromebook is cloud-based anyway, usually stored in Google Docs, so really, they were wrong and foolish on multiple levels. If you ask me, I get 0 out of 5 buttholes here. Sam and her partner? They get 1.5 out of 5. Now on to a different issue. Am I wrong for refusing to take the blame for my stepsister's accident? I'm 16, my parents are divorced, and I split time equally between their homes. My dad is single, while my mom remarried a man who has a 10-year-old daughter. I have a better relationship with Dad. Mom has always been demanding. One of her biggest habits is texting me during school and expecting me to respond immediately, even when I'm in class. My dad and teachers supported me when I decided to silence my phone during the day. Mom hated this to the point of calling my school and demanding they make me reply. Most of her messages are minor errands: pick up milk, grab takeout, or, since her remarriage, escort my stepsister places. I don't drive, so I have to walk. She even once forced me to wait outside my stepsister's basketball practice for an hour just to walk her home. In April, I had after-school activities, so I kept my phone on silent. Later, I saw texts and a voicemail from Mom. She had demanded that I pick up my stepsister from a Girl Scout event. I missed the call, and then I heard her voicemail, screaming at me because my stepsister had walked home alone, been hit by a bike, and ended up in the hospital. When I got home, nobody was there. I did my homework until Mom came back hours later. She told me my stepsister hadn't been careful and was too young to walk home alone. I told her it wasn't my responsibility, which made her furious. She argued that family should take priority and yelled at Dad for supporting me. He, in turn, called her out for blaming me. Since then, every time I'm at her house, we fight. She says I should be ashamed of myself, and her husband backs her up. My stepsister suffered a broken leg and knee damage that may be permanent, but I don't see how that's my fault when I never agreed to pick her up. They just failed to plan. My mom insists I'm disgusting for defending myself, but I don't think I should carry the blame. Honestly, it feels like she just wants to make me the scapegoat. On this one, I'd say I get 0 out of 5 buttholes. My mom and stepdad? Solid 2.5. Finally, another situation. Am I the bad guy for telling my wife that if I waited on her to make memories with our son, we wouldn't have any at all? I'm 39, and last weekend I helped my 14-year-old son dye his hair purple. It was fun and he was thrilled. But I didn't tell my wife beforehand, and that sparked a fight. For me, though, it wasn't just about the hair. It was about years of her being absent. She's missed soccer games, road trips, back-to-school shopping, all because she's either working or too exhausted. I've given up trying to include her because it's the same conversation every time. The night we dyed his hair, she cried, saying we were making memories without her. I asked what she expected me to do, sit in silence until she had time. My son has stopped even asking her. It's no longer, I can't, go ask Mom. Now it's, sorry, I can't, maybe a friend can go with you. She isn't speaking to me now, and I'm wondering if I was too harsh. But honestly, I was hoping some brutal honesty might make her realize what she's missing. I wanted more kids, but she said no. And maybe that's for the best. To me, it's simple. If she wanted to make memories, she should have shown up. Kids grow fast, and once those years are gone, they don't come back. I don't think I was wrong. 0 out of 5 buttholes for me. For her? That's another story.